learned is that we live in a dream, a carefully constructed reality. We make use of a science that is tightly controlled and suppressed and distorted. I think we are left behind.
If you were to die tomorrow because of whatever reason, what do you want people to know right now? Like, what do you want people to know if you're just like fucking gone?
What's up? I'm DJ Rogan coming at you with another video here. Now this one we're going to dive into some UFOs. This is my topic. I haven't really made any videos on UFOs because it's to me it's crazy talk, you know. There's a lot of conspiracies, there's a lot of internal government issues when it comes to this. You got Stephen Greer, Dave Elizondo. There's so many people, you know, James Fox, who I really love his content and his movies. There's so many people. Chris Bledsoe with the orbs down in Wilmington, South Carolina, guys. The world is at a tipping point when it comes to this subject, and it is a very sensitive topic because there's a lot of internal religion issues tied into this and questions about reality and things like that. But Tucker Carlson has always had an interesting concept on this, in my opinion, because I think he knows a little more than what he perceives. And this is my first time listening to this clip, so you're learning with me. And if you haven't seen this, well, you're gonna watch it. And but before we do, go subscribe, like, share the video. And again, this is a sensitive subject.
What bothers me is the UFO story. And you know, the more you dig into that and talk to people with actual knowledge of it, again, that's another story where there are some, you know, fanciful ideas floating around that are just, you know, there's no evidence that they're true. But if you talk to people who, you know, have actual knowledge of it, that they gathered themselves, there are parts of that story that I do not understand at all that are really dark. It's so dark that I, you know, haven't told my wife about it. I mean, I haven't verified any of this, but this is not just stuff that I read on the internet. I know you all are very grounded in that story, so I think I know, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff there that's just like, man, I'm not even sure what that means. There's a spiritual component there that I don't.
You want to ask my opinion on what he's talking about? I'm going to say this really quickly, and then we're going to continue. Movies made by Stanley Kubrick, movies made by Spielberg. I don't think the ideas of these movies or the concept of the movies will be allowed to be made by certain governmental parties. I'm not talking about Democrat or Republican. I'm talking about the real government. The things that the president and vice president and Congress and many other important people have never had access to. The type of facilities and non-governmental organizations that get billions of dollars in funding, and they don't even, it's all shadow. It's all done in the shadows. I think what Tucker's talking about is the abductions and the facilitation of a sort of contract with whatever these things are. And we'll get into what I think they are, just based on 10 years of movies and research on my own end. But I think I think what he's talking about is the abduction part of it, and the spirituality part. Obviously, that's more religious based when you say spirituality, but the dimensional being part, right? The concept that like this thing is more, these things are more like it from the movie, and they can present themselves as whatever they want to be. And they've done this for a very long time. And this is where many religions come from. And this is why things in Egypt look like things in the Aztecs, right? It's because it's the same beings. And these things are still around, but because of our technologies and our ability to affect their crafts, they don't seem to mess with us too much. But I think that's what Tucker's talking about.
I understand. So yes, that story bothers me. And I think, last thing I'll say, that one of the reasons that we've had all these disclosures and all these, 10 whistleblowers at this point, and it hasn't really become front page news. Part of it's suppression, parts of the government don't want you to know about it, but part of it is the public can't deal with it. It's too far out. The implications are too profound. And so, and I understand that, because I've heard things where I'm just like, oh man, I don't even really want to know that, honestly.
It's deeply disturbing stuff. Forget like saucers and technology. It's deeply disturbing stuff that I haven't even told Natalie. Yep. I agree with you. It's so disturbing. Exactly. I can't even tell my kids. My kids ask me different stories about it, and I won't say it because it's so dark. It's so dark.
I totally agree.
Miles is watching. So.
Okay, Miles, if you're watching the show, Daddy's not going to tell you about that part of the UFO stuff and what's.
These people are playing a very weird game, and I don't like it. I don't like it because I think I know exactly what they're talking about. It's the fact of knowing that there is an entity or being that has no barriers. Walls don't mean anything. Cars don't mean anything. Our government has no ability to affect what they're doing. They can do whatever they want to do. That is scary because that takes away your free will. We as humans have established ourselves as the superior being for the most part. We have vehicles to move around in places that we would normally, long 1,000 years ago, be taken advantage of by animals and other people. Now, we have established ourselves in our fleshy, flimble little bodies to being the superior being on the planet, in a sense, right? But what if we never were the superior being on the planet? What if we were a race that went rogue, a slave race driven by greed and gold, and that gold has no standard for anything other than being shoved into a fort and told that it's worth money, but you put it on a table, it doesn't do anything. Why is that? Why are we obsessed with it? It's because our governments and everything are ran on this occult basis. They believe in this very old religion. This is why you go into Washington, D.C., and it's monoliths, and Abraham Lincoln is in a cage, and everybody takes pictures. It's so beautiful. It's not. It's praising their God, the establishment, the elites that believe that they are connected to these things, that they have a bloodline to these beings. This is real. You need to accept this, that your reality and the things that you believe have only been told to you based on where you're geologically born. Now, I'm not bashing religion. I'm not saying that religions aren't real, because I believe they are. But I think the religions were based on false idols and false gods. God himself admitted in the Bible that there were other gods. Shall worship no gods before me. So who are these other gods? This is old, guys. This isn't Christianity, Islam, Judaism. This is not that. This is old, ancient. The monitors, the viewers, the watchers, whatever you want to call it, aliens, UFOs. We have ships ourselves. We have things ourselves that are just like theirs, that we've replicated from digs and finds and from the Vatican. These things are real, guys. This is not a conspiracy. This is the truth. These three people right here have either been told something or heard something, and they're saying, "Oh, I don't want to say it. It's super dark." No. It's dark because you won't be able to accept it. Something that can just pop into your house, and there's nothing you can do about it.
What's going on with the government?
Well, can I say one thing? They've known clearly. I mean, this is, I think, established, and I feel comfortable saying this as fact. The U.S. government, I mean, these are real, whatever they are. They're not human. And the government has known that for a long time, possibly going back to the 1930s at least. And of course, there's tons of evidence in the written record, in the physical record, in paintings, and in literature, that people have been seeing and interacting with these things for a long time. So we know.
He's talking about orbs, the same orbs that Chris Bledsoe is talking about. Now, they're going to approach this from a dark aspect. If you listen to Chris Bledsoe, it's not a dark aspect to it. It's a spirituality, more faith-based reality to this, okay? And we can listen to, and I'll do a video on Chris Bledsoe very soon to break into those waters. But the government has known about this. These things popped up in World War II, right? The Foo Fighters. And these lights and orbs would pop up in dogfights. And German and American pilots would both together try to approach these lights because nobody knew what these things were. And they would zoom off and take off, and nothing we had could affect it, right? Post Hiroshima, right? The UFO reports at Hiroshima, I believe. You know, people reported seeing all kinds of orbs and tic-tac objects at the time of Hiroshima. That Hiroshima and Nagasaki is really what sparked this, because soon after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the UFO thing went crazy. Everybody was seeing these things all across the world, Australia, United Kingdom. For 20 or 30 years this happens. But secretly behind the scenes, there was a contract supposedly signed by a president. And this contract basically involves them being able to monitor and take. And by take, I mean abduct. And it's not what you think it is. They're physically being taking places, and this has been going on for years. There's plenty of cases on this, but you get to the movies, right? And this is where I told you before, the media, the government, and Hollywood are all the same entity with the same head tops, feeding on each other to water down what the truth is. Okay, they make these movies, E.T., to make you think, oh, these cute little, kid. These things are not written by chance. It's a movie put on a television, and you got to use your channels and yes, are you under television, right? It's telling you, they're telling on themselves through comedy or through a movie to give you insight, so that when you, or if you ever experience something, or if you ever go public or something like that, there's going to be a mass population that's going to not believe you because, oh, we've seen Independence Day, that stuff's not real. I go to church, I don't believe in aliens, right? It's on purpose, guys. It's on purpose.
Know that, but the justification one often hears is, well, the government, various presidents who have been read in, not all have been, haven't wanted to disclose this because it would scare people. And I've always thought that's bullshit. You know, you're hiding a crime, which they are, by the way, in my opinion. But I do think there's a sense in which that's not totally crazy. Like, there is some stuff, if it's true, and I'm kind of thinking it may be true, that's so radical that, yeah, well, as we both said, we don't want to tell the people we love most about it, because, like, why would you, disturb someone like that? So I kind of get that.
If it was disclosed and said in a very blunt way, explaining the past 100 years of this of this behind the scenes activity, it would completely collapse every religious based idea. It would completely collapse economies. People would probably not want to work or do anything if you understood what they know. That everything's not simple. It's not just get up, go to work, pay attention to the clock, don't look down, do what you're obey the laws, serve your master, be a Democrat, be a Republican, be gay, be straight, all while in reality, the truth is that life is an experience, and I don't exactly know what is after this, if there actually is anything, right? But what if there's something that already knows the truth? And the scary truth is that if that is disclosed, it completely collapses. I don't know where humans go. I don't know where governments go from there. Where do you get, where you have to look at this, is that we've been hanging on by a cliff. They've been feeding us this time zone and put your kids in school, go to school, put your head down, walk in line, like almost blinding you from being able to view this experience that you're really supposed to just be here, experiencing life, having babies and having, experiencing life. Like, that's really what you're here. That's what you're supposed to do. But for a large portion of the population, it's driven by trying to get to the executive position and trying to become the president and you know, trying to be the best social media influencer and blase, right? But what if there was something that presented itself and said that you're just a container? This is just an experience that you only just get to do once, and there's nothing after. Or maybe there is. I have faith and hope there is. So, like, don't doubt me on that. Your boy believe in Jesus. Praise God. Praise him. That's how I feel about it. Y'all need to go to a black church. That's what everybody needs to do. You need to go to a black church. You need to sit in there about 6 hours, get some Jesus in you, and you ain't got to worry about this, man. That's how I feel about it. It's time to start joking, baby. Disclosure is coming, guys. It's coming soon. Pay attention. Don't pay attention to psyops. Don't worry about Cash Patel over here stealing beers from people. Don't worry about that. This is what's going on. And guess what? The Epstein stuff is connected right into this because the same elites, they know this. It's all connected. I'm not crazy. I just read, baby. I'm really good at putting the dots together. And this is some dark shit. But I'm DJ Rose UN again. Again, guys, go subscribe, like, and if you like if you do, if you be so gracious, man, on Jesus, on God, please share the video.
If you were to die tomorrow because of whatever reason, what do you want people to know right now? Like, what do you want people to know if you're just like fucking gone?
You are not free. And this reality has far more to it than you have been allowed to believe. And God is real.